Hey Libra, how you doing? Good morning. So we're doing your reading slightly different. I've decided to go off camera for a while because actually Shawanda. I'm also hearing Kwanda, Tatiana, or Kwanda. I don't know. Some kind of exotic name. Shaquanda or Shaquille O'Neal, maybe. I don't know. That was a basketball player, was it? I don't know. Anyway. So Libra, things have changed slightly. I've decided to come off camera for a while and actually just focus on the cards. I actually prefer it that way. Anybody else suffering from retrograde in the eclipse? Hands up. So let's see. So don't forget Libra, we are looking at June 2022, but because they are done in advance, it really can relate to a message that starts to come out immediately. Okay. So I need to speak to you immediately. The name Lee, Laura, Lucy, Louise, Lucifer, maybe Lynn, Finlay, someone that's from Australia. But I need to talk to you urgently, okay? Urgent. You could be dealing with a Taurus or a Sag, maybe. Abandonment, abandoning ship. Could be dealing with a 6. Yeah, so basically retrograde. I think during retrograde, I don't think anybody's really speaking to anyone, to be honest with you. Seems to be the running theme, the running man. You could be dealing with a life path 7 or a Cancerian for a lot of you. And you're basically doing your best to avoid everybody, I would say. It's pretty much the running theme that seems to be going on with every reading I've done so far. So let's see. So Libra, that's retrograde. Nobody speaks during retrograde, really. So let's see. Libra, what has Libra got coming up for June 2022? So yeah, metaphysical connection. It's not real. Questioning one's reality. You're not speaking. I'm not speaking. No, it was you that's not speaking. But if we're not speaking, then how do I know what you're doing? Questioning my reality. So was that in your head? No, that isn't in my head. That's how a person would normally explain this card. Whatever is going on in your life, that does not mean that that is going on in my head. So if you're questioning my reality and I wasn't actually thinking that at all, then who is actually thinking that? Because there's too much metaphysics. I've gone over this so many times, and a lot of people, I don't think, listen. If you stay in a metaphysical connection too long, okay, you're out there in fear land. So you're like in purgatory. So you could be dealing with like a Virgo or a life path 9 maybe. Okay, but I'm definitely picking up like questioning the person's reality of what it is that's in someone's head. Okay, so the conversation piece of such would definitely go, okay, you question me over something, but if you're questioning my reality and that isn't in my head, then you're gaslighting, because that isn't what was in my head at the time. That isn't my reality. That isn't my reality. It might be yours, but that isn't my reality. Okay, so it's questioning a connection that isn't real, basically. So it can be real. You can have a connection during this time here, but it's more metaphysical than physical, meaning that you more than likely don't live around this person here. Okay, and it's all down to belief, just believing in the connection. Okay, but it's dangerous. Okay. Because it leads us to temptation of overthinking, overanalyzing situations. Okay, so when you come overanalytical, that means that someone is basically thinking too much. Okay, causes a mirror, questions the other person over the mirror. The other person believes they're within their right, and the other person believes that they're crazy. And then when you say they're crazy for thinking that, you could be dealing with a 4, life path 4, Scorpio, Aries, or a twin flame kind of spiritual connection that you have. But then when you question their reality, they're going to deny it, which means that they could well lie, okay? Because that means they'll cover up their feelings and emotions of really what's going on in the ego, in the mind, of overanalyzing situations. Okay, so you could start to get paranoid. If you're not speaking to me, then who are you speaking to? Are you with someone or are you not? Are you telling the truth or are you not? Really could be dealing with a Pisces, a life path 3, or a third party energy. Okay. Libra. What's Libra got coming up for June? So the Queen of Swords. So someone's getting sick to death of the other person's bullshit here. So you could be dealing with life path 5, Aries, Sagittarius, possible placements, maybe. Yeah, getting fed up with you questioning me or not answering me or not speaking to me. Like, you know, if you want me, I'm here, but if you don't, then just it's up to you. But I ain't got time for bullshit, okay? So it's like I'm just going to cut out the childish shit here, okay? So this could well be you here. It could well be believing like trust. If a person isn't really giving you much to go off, trust is very difficult to form a trust when you're formed an alliance, basically. Okay, so you could be dealing with Leo or an Aquarian life path 8. But metaphysics is very difficult to believe. Okay, because when you start mirroring, you start thinking that all those kind of things that I was saying to you. Do you have other options? Are you talking to someone else? Because if you're not talking to me, then who are you talking to? Okay, so it leads to a lot of disbelief energy, so you can't trust. Let's see, Libra, what's going on with Libra through June 2022? So you got a lot of gaslighting energy around you. I'm not saying it's a Virgo, but you do have a lot of gaslight and confusion, being very confused, a sense that doesn't make any at all. Again, so it is also a part retrograde. You know, communication is always communication breakdown. That's why I can't channel or speak properly during these times, and I feel very drained and tired and frustrated, and that's what happens during retrograde. So retrograde isn't always about like people returning from the past. It's always about communication. Okay, so there's a huge amount of kind of like gaslighting here, because it's all I'm lost. Okay, so am I going to win or lose? But that can be an argument. That can be the ego. Are you going to win or am I going to lose? Am I going to budge or are you going to budge? Okay, as your name's Budge or Barry. Okay, or beginning with B. Let's see, Libra. What's Libra got coming up, please, for June? So the King of Swords now. So you've got court situations if you have to go to court. Oh man, there's questioning the connection between the King and the Queen. Okay, there's someone that may be trying to stand in between that. Okay, could be a Virgo or a Life Path 9. Now I don't know if they're the instigator or the terrogator, or Tanya, Great Britannia, someone from Britain. I don't know, but there could be a lot of codependent energy here, because there could be under the influence, like drugs, alcohol, under the influence. But it's also being questioned as well, okay? Because it's, like I said, this whole thing here is about trusting, okay? Or Justin, but about trusting, okay? Which means that, like, if you were ever under the influence of alcohol and drugs, are you still under the influence of alcohol and drugs? If you've had other options in the past, do you still now have other options? Because the King and the Queen are trying to trust one another, but because of the amount of karmic illusion, okay, possible energies of gaslighting, of questioning one's reality, fear is now kicked in, okay? So the King and the Queen need to speak, but they're more than likely not, okay? That might be a Pisces involved when I say not, okay? Let's see. Libra. What's going on with Libra through June? But I have, you see, another person. Again now, still not making clear decisions, not acting accordingly to like yes or no. So it's still up in the air of someone still being very indecisive. They can't say yes and then just go. They sort of like say yeah, but no, but kind of no. Well, yeah, maybe no, but sort of, but kind of no. But maybe, but yeah, not yet, but soon, yeah. So basically a load of shit that really doesn't never really make sense, because you need to show up who you really are, because it could be covered up. Okay, because it can also be lying, truth, justice, energy. Are you telling the truth or are you lying? Is it a yes or a no? Okay. Because if it's a maybe, someone now still is questioning now whether there's going to be a connection or not. You know, are we going to be coming together in the future or not? Are you coming to see me or not? Are you traveling to see me or not? Like, are we together or are we not? Like, you know, all of those questions now are being questioned by both energies now. You're questioning each other's, because there's no physical. You see, metaphysical will lead to all of these kind of things here. Physical doesn't, because you're with the person, you can see them. Okay, so there's a lot of unknown soldier kind of Jim Morrison stuff, like when the war is over I'll make a decision, when we start talking again I'll make a decision. So it's giving out, someone wants the power of decision. Okay, they want to be the decision maker. Now if they are the decision maker, they're very indecisive. Okay, let's see, Libra. What's coming up for Libra for June, please? Libra for June. Don't forget, Libra, though, we are still only the 18th today. So, you know, this could be definitely present right now. Okay. So, Libra for June. I'm very much, see, again, more indecisive energy. Can never say yes now. Right? Can never say, yep, let's do it now. So if someone's questions one's reality through metaphysics, meaning they just want more of a metaphysical existence, but no physical, I live with you, I stay with you, we get on, you know, we're more in the energy of the Six of Cups. Someone prefers not to commit to that. So they prefer to stay in a metaphysical phone calling energy, or not calling, or not speaking, or not really talking, and they just want to keep it as a non-existent relationship. So they're never really making up their mind here. And this could really be you, Libra, here too. You're not committing to what is called upon, okay? Which means the energy of a soulmate. You're not going forward into, which means that you either have trust issues, or they do, or you both do. But you can only really gain trust issues when there's been cheating and manipulating. Because if not, anything above that is really childish kind of behaviour. Because if it's really just kind of like not talking, that's childish, right? So, like I said, it's more, I would rather stay in a metaphysical draining state of mind than what I would be more in the physical energy. Because that means that you have to see me, I have to give over my life towards you, you know, I have to come to you, no, you have to come to me, no, I have to reach out to you, no, you have to reach out to me. And you're just mirroring the energy of both not really doing anything, because both of you are more than likely waiting for communication from each other, but no one's prepared to budge. So you're just kind of like sitting there thinking, well, are they going to reach out? And the other person's thinking, well, are they going to reach out? And then it's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not either. Okay, well, if they're not, then I'm not. And you just got so many knots here that it's kind of like how, well, I actually believe that children act more responsible than adults, really, because they have less of an ego. Okay, so yeah, they don't really care, you know. So there's someone that's making out that they don't care, but they do. That could also be you, and as a number 2, which means that that's mirrored. The energies have mirrored. It's more metaphysical. Metaphysical, like I said, I keep going over it, but people that love to stay in metaphysical connections without committing to a relationship just lead to more arguments, more unknown variables, you know, verbal, you know, all of that sort of stuff. So you go into the, I'm not speaking, I'm not talking, well, I'm not reaching out, well, I'm not either. Okay, so I'm not, I want you, but no, I'm not, because I question your reality and I believe it's you that's in the wrong. No, I'm not in the wrong, I'm just waiting, and it'll go on. And then eventually, normally what happens, you'll cause that much distrust between the soulmate, because you're supposed to trust your soulmate. And the more that this goes on, is when you actually destroy each other. Because you get fed up with one another, you get fed up with each other's bullshit, and you're not supposed to, okay? So everything between that is a karmic energy of ego, okay? So you're fighting against one another, you're not actually really... But you see, the trouble is the king and the queen is here. So, I mean, you can look at third parties and you can say that this king and the queen were exes, and there's someone in the middle of it, an instigator that keeps instigating between my relationship and theirs. You know, they keep questioning me and asking me, are you, you know, blah, blah, blah. Libra. What's Libra got coming up for June, please? Libra. So you got watching tarot card readings, waiting. I don't know. It's kind of like, fuck it. I'd rather just concentrate on my work then. If you know, because I even though you've got a counterpart here, it's more of a chess move, if you like. Your move. No, it's your move. No, you move. No, you move. No, you come to me. No, you come, like, to me, to you, to me, to you. So one of you's got to take a move. One of you has to reach out. And if none of you do, you just continue to not speak. If this is about someone that refuses to pack their stuff up and move, like I said, it depends on which one's saying, look, I'm ready. I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready for you to come over and visit and stay. I'm ready. I'm here waiting for you. Okay. So what's your answer? Is it a yes or a no? If it's not really answered, it's like, well, kind of not yet, but sort of, but maybe. There's an energy, again, that someone's not, they're fearless. Well, the person that's ready is fearless, and the person that isn't has fear. Okay. Let's see. This is a difficult one to read, really. Let's see, Libra. What's going on with Libra through June? So the Wheel of Fortune. So karmic energy is basically, like I said, when you're given something, you will receive something. Okay, but like I said, the one that is questioning another person's reality is not going forward. Basically, we went over this in the teaching segment. If you're a part of my teaching segment, and it leads to this card here of what we was going over for an hour. See this as a roundabout, okay? And you got traffic going left and right, like coming around the roundabout, okay? And a dual carriageway, and it all goes off into different directions. And you're the leading person with all cars that are relating to this way, okay? When you go on, you're not supposed to hesitate. You're supposed to just go with the flow and go around the energy and not be fearful, okay? Because there may not be anything coming. So if you stop, you cause a pile-up of energy of people that get frustrated, which is spirit. Okay, which means that you're not going towards your calling. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. You are the leader card of like, well, I'm fearless. I'm just going to not hesitate, go straight onto the roundabout and go around, and then I'm going to get off on the junction I'm supposed to go off on. Okay, so the one that has fear of commitment, or fear and loathing in Las Vegas, or Alas, or from Alaska, okay, or someone up north. But the one that has fear, that doesn't commit to the energy of what's supposed to be, builds up the energy of loads of shit going on in their life. Because karma will just be, okay, if you're fearful, then we're going to give you a load of things to be fearful about. Okay, so their life will, it will start taking over. Their karma will be more around their family and their friends and work and stuff like that. And it will start to make them very frustrated and God knows what else. Okay. Because this is like, well, I'm ready to work on the relationship. I'm here, ready to work on it. I'm fearless. I don't really care because I know that I'm going with the flow. I'm just ready to work on the relationship when you are. But if you're not, that's okay. It's down to you, but it's not my problem. Okay. So you kind of got that, right? Someone going with the flow, someone trying their best to fight the energy of karmic energy, which means that this can turn into more of a family dynamic for people. You see, if you look at karma as like, meanwhile, right, in a different part of the city or a different part of the world, okay, we started to have this story, which means that anybody that avoids karmic energy will just start to receive it in different manners. It'll mean their brother or their sister or their sibling or their mother or their father or some kind of illness or something will start happening, and they won't be able to figure out why. It's because they're not going forward on what they're supposed to be going into. So they're fighting against the energy and not going with it. Okay. So when you do that, you form more tension and build up. Okay. So it's like waiting for a result. Okay. Like I need to wait for results from a hospital or a doctor's. I need to wait for what the result is going to be. I need to, or assault and battery charge of going to court. You know, that nervous approached energy. I don't know what's going to come of this. Causing paranoia between a connection, if it's a connection of love. I don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to be a yes? Is it going to work out? Is it going to be a no? Is it a maybe? Are you going to reach out? No. Are you going to reach out? No. Are you? No. Are you? Yes. No. Maybe. Kind of. No. Sort of. And then have we spoke about this? Well, not really. So, you know, and it just goes on. You just create, because 2s are always about truth, right? This is my personality number, a number 2, right? Not life path or anything like that. Personality number. So I go off it facts. Have to have true facts. If it comes across as bullshit, I call out the card of bullshit. Okay, I can't help it. It's just that it has to be facts, not fiction. I can't live in too long being in fiction because it becomes very monotonous. Okay, it's kind of like, oh, it's just more metaphysical stuff. It's not real. Okay, so when you're a life path 7 and people question your reality, you can get that hell of a lot. Now, this is where I want to start talking about very soon on the teaching tier, about how all of your numbers relate to your numbers, their numbers, and the lessons of karma that you will learn through that. Okay, and that's going to be a very big one. So that'll probably be the next teaching tier, teaching segment I do. Okay, but at the moment I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, because that's really important. That's really important. You know that I deal in numbers and talk. Okay, so I'm going to express to you how to figure out your karmic lessons that will be faced between the person that you meet. Because one of those were to do with around the time that you were born. If you've never found my channel before, over on the teaching tier, I started to tell people on here for a start, but then I moved it, about the time that you were born and the time that you meet the other person, and you add those two up of your time of birth and their time of birth, and then the time that you met and everything else. And then we go over your lessons of how those numbers come together to create a number. Okay, but anyway, they're on the teaching tier if you are interested. So we are going to go over to Patron if you are interested at all, but this will be on the first tier, which is like $3 or $4. You get 2 monthlies for that, but that's it. If you go over to the full access bundle, you get monthlies and weeklies. Your last week will only be done over on Patron. The majority, so the last week of this month will only be on the full access bundle. You won't see it on here, okay? And then you're going to have to know the channel, because we do a lot of undisclosed stuff just for patrons when it comes to a lot of the weeklies, okay? And then we go over hidden thoughts, feelings, truth, all that sort of stuff. And then we also have the teaching tier as well. So if you would like the teaching tier as well as the full access bundle, my advice would be go up to the teaching tier. So go into your memberships, say that you also want to be a part of the teaching tier, and you'll be a part of both, but you will only pay the amount that goes between these two here. Okay, so if you go down, you'll pay both. If you go up, you'll pay the small amount between. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we've got. Okay, so you can find all links provided below. Thanks very much, Libra, and I'll catch you soon.